The other day, I was out there running some really fast laps around a lake about 5:40 in the morning. And after I was done running, someone stopped me and they asked me why I started running and why do I run. This was someone who was a Bulldog mindset fan. And it's interesting, the answer that I gave, which is what we're going to talk about in this video. So the answer I gave, and this is my honest answer, is that I started running because I hated running. It might seem like a weird thing to do, and I didn't completely understand it as well as I do at the time. But the thing is that when you do something that you hate, it's an opportunity to be able to grow and develop yourself as a person, because it's those things, it's doing the hard things, the things that you hate, that gives you the most personal growth. And so I saw this running as an opportunity. I saw this as, hey, this is something that I don't like doing, so I should do more of it. And I forced myself to do more and more of it until I got to a point where initially I was running 3 miles. I started running some 5 miles, 6 miles, 7-mile runs. Eventually I ran a half marathon, and I still hated it, by the way, but I started to develop a little bit of pride in my running. The fact that I'd run a half marathon, something I thought I'd never be able to do. And then I remember one day getting up there to a 16 or 17-mile run, and I said, you know what? At this point, it seems silly to not go for the full marathon, even though I don't really want to do this, and I still feel like it's impossible, but it just might be possible. So I pushed myself. I started training for it, and I ran my first marathon. And after my first marathon, I said, there is no way I'm ever going to do this again. This is the most ridiculous thing, and never going through that experience again. And here we go, 5 marathons later, and then 1 50-mile race later, I am still running. In fact, I took off from running about a year and a half ago, and I said, I'm never going to run again. I'm tired of running. It is just too brutal. I was training for this 100-mile race. Then here I am every day in the morning running on the trails, and I'm going to be training for another ultra marathon coming up here. So the reason why I'm telling you this story is because what I want you to understand is why pain is good for you and why you should do hard things. Because if you grasp this concept, it will fundamentally change your life, just like it changed my life. I can't tell you the benefits that I have from going out and doing hard things, from going out and running. And I'll tell you why. All right. So the first thing is I saw this video on YouTube, this video on dopamine, and they're talking about how dopamine basically is triggered in the brain, how dopamine is, they thought it was initially a reward, but it's actually the drive, the motivation. So if you're lacking motivation, what you need is more dopamine, or you need a better dopamine response. And what they found was that people who had more dopamine or had a better dopamine response felt more motivated, more happy overall in life. And what they also found was that it's people that actually put themselves through pain end up having the most happiness in life, the overall happiness. And the reason for that is because when you put yourself into a place of pain, you feel better when you're not in pain. So you actually start to have this dopamine response at the thought of not being in pain anymore. And that actually makes you happy. So when you're at a baseline, like right now, I'm sitting in my chair, I'm pretty happy because I'm not running on the mountain. Although actually, I kind of wish that I was. I could enjoy that pain to a degree, which is a little bit weird as well. But one of the main reasons why to do hard things and why to train hard and push yourself hard is because when you bring pain upon yourself, it actually makes it so that your regular day is better. It improves your dopamine response. So if you're struggling with motivation, with procrastination, with depression, try doing hard stuff and putting yourself into that pain zone. The second thing that's really important about doing hard things and putting yourself into the pain cave is because it greatly improves your self-esteem. We talk about confidence. We talk about becoming a person who doesn't care what other people think. There's a reason why I have a high degree of confidence, and there's a reason why I have a high value of myself. It's because I do hard shit, because I know there's not a guy out there in this world who will do the kind of things that I will do. I'm not saying that there's not people that run harder or train harder than me, but overall in my life, with all of the things that I've accomplished, all the things I've pushed myself to do, I know that I am quite a unique and superior individual. It's funny, the other day my girlfriend was saying something along the lines of running a marathon doesn't make you a better person or better than other people. And I was like, no, you're wrong. And it's true, no offense, but she's wrong about that. Let me tell you why she's wrong about that. The reason why is because it absolutely does make you a better person. And when you do hard stuff, you know that you're a better person. It is not true that we're all equal. We all have equal potential, potentially. We could say that. We might have equal value as a human life, as a human being, but we are not equal. You're not equal to me. And I don't say that in a derogatory, like arrogant way. I mean that I have done hard shit. I've pushed myself. I'm not equal to someone who sits on the couch all day and watches TV. And so that is where my esteem comes from, is because I know that I am superior. It's not an arrogance type of thing. It's I have earned it. If you haven't earned it, you don't have the right to say it. You have the potential. So you have to go out there and exercise that potential. And if you do that, then you can become someone who is superior. Now, if you want some help doing this, by the way, click the link down below. We'll jump on a free 15-minute call, and I'll talk about how you can actually become superior in a financial way to build your financial freedom and to have the ability, the freedom that you want in life. A lot of it begins with financial freedom. It starts in the mind, actually, but then having the financial freedom is a key to having as much freedom as you want in your life. So click the link down below and book that call. But again, like I said, if you are able to do hard things and you push yourself and you bring pain upon yourself, it will develop your self-esteem like no other thing, because you know that you're a badass. When you know that you're a badass, you don't care what other people think. You can walk into a room confidently. Like, I know when I walk into the room, I'm the best man in the room. It is very rare that I'm going to encounter a room where I am not the best man. I am usually going to be the most physically fit person that has developed their physique the most, usually the most successful person. That's not always the case. But overall, as a package, that is how I feel about myself. And because of that, you can imagine how that influences my behavior and actions. Now, it also helps me to treat people better. You might think that's weird because everything I'm saying here sounds very arrogant, but it's actually builds more humility than anything else, because I don't have anything to prove. So I can lift up other people and lift up their accomplishments and root for them honestly. There was a question on one of my group coaching calls for the program. And in that coaching call, someone was asking, how do I actually truly be honestly happy for other people and not be jealous? That was the equivalent of it. And I said, by making yourself greater, by making yourself awesome. The more that you focus on yourself and developing yourself and growing yourself and developing your self-esteem by doing hard stuff, the more that you're going to actually genuinely care about other people and celebrate their accomplishments. When you're not feeling that great about yourself, the other people doing amazing things threatens you. Some of you might have been threatened by this video right now, right? You might be threatened by this. You might want to write me off and say some kind of crap about me. I get it. I was there at one point. But instead of trying to tear someone else down, become great. All of you have the potential to become great. The last thing here that fits into this very nicely is that when you force yourself to do the hard things in life, to push yourself, you develop gratitude. You cannot truly be gracious unless you have unless you have endured hardship. And you have to willingly endure that hardship. If that hardship is thrust upon you and you do not find it within yourself to push through it, if you do not take upon the burden on yourself, it will be very, very difficult for you to have gratitude in life. You hear all these people saying, wake up in the morning and write the things that you're grateful for. You can write them down, but you're not actually grateful. Do you really care? You're trying to practice a mindset of gratitude, and that's great. But do you want to worship at the temple of gratitude? It requires pain and sacrifice. Every morning when I wake up at 5:40 in the morning, I go run in the mountains. I am worshiping at the temple of gratitude. Why? Because I'm putting myself through physical and mental pain. And by doing that, I am gracious for everything in my life. You know how good a meal feels when you've run 15 miles and have eaten nothing all day and worked hard, and then you get to break your fast and eat a meal? It feels really good. I am very gracious when that happens, but I cannot have that gratitude if I do not go without, if I do not put myself through hard things and go through pain. So pain in life is good. That's why I like pain. You have to start to embrace pain. So many of us are focused on avoiding pain. But what happens when we avoid pain is we end up over-exercising our dopamine system. So nothing stimulates us. Nothing makes us feel good. We're depressed. We don't have motivation. We have a low self-esteem because we know we ain't shit. You're not shit. You know it inside. When you do hard shit and you force yourself to go out there and push yourself, then you know what kind of fucking man that you are. And that is key. And like I said, you can't have gratitude if you do not have pain. Pain and gratitude are related to each other directly. Now, if you want to watch another video on why I should do hard things, go check out this video next.